Hello and welcome. Can everyone hear me okay? Let's see. 1 second here. All right, cool. That's how it's appearing. And then, sweet. All right, welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for joining up. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit of the recap for San Diego Comic Con. We're talking Jada Toys, we're talking Mezco Toys, and then SH Figure Arts. Not really sure about any other toy companies, just like my favorite reveals so far, I would say. And then we're also going to be talking Storm Arena, the Dan pre-order that just went live. What was it, last Friday? So a few days out now. And but to begin with, we're going to kick off with the giveaway. Yes, the giveaway is here. We got Ray Pez in the chat saying, can I be in the giveaway? Not like I'll win, but you never know. You did show up, so let's we can add you in on here. That's fine. We'll add you in on here. We have 117 comments that people are trying to win this Ken Masters pre-order and or Ken Masters figure. That great news, we just got confirmation earlier on in the week, or it might have been last week, that they are going to be shipping out from BBTS pretty soon. So I know a lot of people are very excited for that as we draw ever closer to the next Storm Arena figure to come out, which would be the Baki pre-order, of course. That should be coming out any day now, or not any day, but any week now, as we are in Q3. Yeah, we can add you in. We're still plenty of time here. Let's see. Uh Star Screamer here. Star Screamer. Isn't that like a transformer? Welcome in. So yeah, we're about to kick off this giveaway and see who is going to be the lucky winner. I wanted to do kind of like the first 10 who gets picked will make it to the next round kind of deal, but instead we're just going to do one spin, one and done, all on the line, all or nothing. And I'm going to try to have this figure shipped out by the end of the week to whoever may win this giveaway. Thank you all for Oh wait, so Ken is in stock right now. All right, sweet. We got Sun in the chat. Thank you for joining up. So Ken is in stock right now at BBTS. So this is a great time to be doing this giveaway. It's all lining up. The stars are aligning perfectly for everyone. Again, thank you all for commenting on that review. Tremendous success. The whole movement for Storm Arena, especially with the Ken Masters review and everything leading up to that review, has been tremendously successful here on the channel. And leading into Ryu, that success continues to grow. So we'll have to see what Baki does. And just all the way through, like, this is thank you to all of you who commented, who's been supporting the channel, so on, ever since Storm Arena, and even years before Storm Arena and things like that. So let's go ahead. Before we do that, let's read a few more of these comments. Ray says, they didn't send me an alert. Okay, yeah, so BBTS, it's all there for you guys. With out of the way, let's go ahead and give this spin a spin. And let's see who the winner will be for the first ever M.A.R.S Storm Arena giveaway. Thank you all again. Let's see who the winner is. All right, looks like 76. You are the winner. Sapaki P. Kuni, or something like that. Number 76, you are the winner. I'll make sure to tag you into like a post. I'll make a community post and tag you in, and we can get all the details. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. That's like the most important, so that I can send this figure out to you via, USPS, UPS, FedEx, what have you. I will say, however, I will say that should you not reach out in a week's time, so next week around this time, so about 12 o'clock next week, if I don't get a message from you on Instagram or anything like that, then we'll have to do another spin wheel. So for those of you who didn't, win on this one, the luck is still there. Maybe 76 won't reach out. Hold on. Maybe 76 won't reach out, and then hey, we'll have to do another spin wheel. And if that happens, we'll do a last man standing for that one. But anyways, congratulations to you, 76. Hit me up. Ken Masters is available right now in BBTS in stock. Let's go ahead and jump over there and check it out and see um, how that's looking. So here we are on BBTS, Storm Arena. Spelled that wrong. Oh wow, yeah, he definitely is in stock. So you wasn't lying, son. He is in stock right now. You can pick him up. Asian packaging. Of course, there's always some catch, right? What I can tell you for the winner of the Kin Masters giveaway, you're getting the American, or should I say, everywhere around the world packaging except for Asia, because this giveaway is going to feature the Alpha 3 logo, not the 03, which is crazy to see that BBTS, right? Should be like it's a US distributor, yet they're receiving Asian packaging. That's crazy. It should be the Alpha series, not 0. But nonetheless, the figure is in stock. So for all of you out there who want to go pick up that figure, make sure you head over there and do so. It looks like the Storm Arena figures are going to cost $30. No way around that. And probably 40 for like the deluxe Agat figures and all that stuff. Oh, wait, so they have both. I'm sorry. Let's backtrack. They have both in stock. It looks like they have the Alpha 3 edition in stock, as well as the Asia packaging for 03, which is pretty incredible, actually, because should either of these sell out, you've got the other to go for. Now, when they both sell out, that's going to be an indicator as like that's where everyone should be curious, because if they don't do a restock of Kin Masters, then that kind of tells us going forward we're not going to be getting reissues for Storm Arena, thus making them more valuable as time moves on. And with this being in the 1/12 scale, they'll always be relevant, they'll always be popular, and probably sought after. So we'll have to wait and see Storm's direction after these sells out on big popular websites like BBTS and things like that. All right, well, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and move into our first topic of today's stream. That, of course, being the Dan pre-order, Dan the man, or Dan could have been the man, some people are saying. We've got Keaton in the building. Thanks for joining up, Keaton. I know you're in the UK. I know you've got these figures, but how do you feel about Dan? Are you excited for Dan? Do you have him pre-ordered yet? I saw someone else did pre-order Dan already. Yeah, Ray had pre-ordered Dan, which is pretty good. Keaton saying, I kind of don't mind that Storm Collectibles UK was shipping the 0 packaging for Ryu after getting Ken from Asia. Okay, I got you. Yeah. And then we've got the winner there. Yeah, that is strange to me that because I'm pretty sure in the UK it's still regarded as alpha, not 0. And some people will nitpick. Some people will, find a reason to complain about that and to say, oh well, Storm, when they release these Americas and Europe versions of these figures, they're all like the Asian version or thing like that. I don't know. Someone down the line is going to talk about that. But anyways, regardless of the fact, at least the figure is available and people can get that. Okay, yeah. Star Screamer saying, yeah, still alpha in UK, yeah. So it's still alpha. So I don't know what's going on, but nonetheless, the figure is out. It's in circulation, regardless if it has 0 or alpha on the packaging. At least you can still enjoy the figure. You can see the quality. You can enjoy what everyone else is getting to enjoy, and even more so now that BBTS has the figure in stock. It is a bit late as we are in Q3. The figure was slated for Q2. But with everything going on, all of the lurking variables outside of what we see, I think this is great that they got the figure in stock in hand, and you get to choose between alpha and 0. Pretty awesome. Now for Dan, again, a lot of people they're a bit upset with this release because it's not the Dan that a lot of people had envisioned. Instead, we got a more serious Dan, not as goofy. Me personally, I don't mind it. I think, it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse. Um, there are some features of the character that still remain within the figure, that of course being like the butt chin. As I mentioned in the pre-order breakdown, this character or this figure seems to be much younger than the Dan that we're used to seeing, especially in Alpha 3 and even Alpha 1, I would argue. This Dan is a much younger Dan, and I think that's why we're not getting those goofy faces. I think this is our Dan, like I said, fresh out of the dojo, on his mission for revenge against a god. He couldn't always have been so goofy. Maybe, we don't know all the lore, I guess, when the switch happened, but um I guess in my canon, he must have got a few screws knocked loose going up against someone, because yeah, this is a more serious Dan. I like the effect. I like the pairs of hands or sets of hands we're getting. We have the figure stand. This is your best value Storm Arena figure out to date because of everything you're getting. And that's mainly because of the Godukin effect with the stand with that. That's pretty much what offsets this figure from like Ken. Prior to Dan, I would say Ken was a better release because, you're getting a lot more when compared to Ryu. And now Dan is bringing us the best of both worlds with the most of the three, also rocking a different color gi with the undershirt. So a lot more is here with Dan. But I do understand a lot of people do not like this Series 5 coming off from Dan, and that's fair. To each his own. Omega Ortiz says, yes, Ken has finally been in stock at BBTS. So that's great for everyone who hasn't had a chance to enjoy those figures, to sit down and see what all the hype is about. Now BBTS coming through, you can pick the figure up. You can get the alpha or the zero version. If you're a hardcore collector and you look forward to these selling out and maybe not getting a reissue, I recommend getting both. You could buy two of these figures and still pay less than one Storm collectible figure. And I think that's like the overall importance of this whole line, is how cheap it is, but the quality that you're getting at that price point. And yeah, it's the way to go. Keen says, my only moment was the fireball size. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like the fireball, I feel like if they wanted to add Goofy, the chance to do it would have been, yes, the faceplates would, or the head sculpts would have been a great place to do that. But the fireball, I think if they would have made it like a tennis ball size, that would have been perfect. But yeah, I don't know. They're giving us a different Dan, a Dan we've never seen before. And as I mentioned in the breakdown, this is Jada Toys' time to capitalize when it comes to Dan. Should they even get that far to make Dan, I would say it's a great opportunity for Jada to capitalize on this from Storm. So we have Ray saying maybe they will make an exclusive silly face Dan. You never know. Yeah, that's another theory going around. We've seen that with Baki. I believe Baki might have been the first Storm Collectibles exclusive to kind of take that route, where instead of getting a different color scheme, you're getting essentially a new figure or the same figure, but you're getting additional head sculpts. Now, unfortunately, those head sculpts do not pair with the pre-existing OG Baki figure, but you are getting exclusive figures that does feature different head sculpts. So in the future, I can see that happening from Storm Arena. Now, will they go as far as to have an exclusive that includes head sculpts for the original release? I don't think they're going to go that far. It is extra, I would say, to do that. And we've seen Jada do it with the M. Bison and the Dalsim figure, and even, first with their Chun-Li figure exclusive. So that could be something Storm Arena could do. I would love for them to do that. It would make an incentive to go back to get the OG Dan if you're just picking up the exclusive Dan or figure at that point. It would make sense to go back and to pick up that figure. But then you have to worry about if it's sold out. Is it going to be reissued? How much is the aftermarket price? I am curious to see how Storm will take that route. I think they have seen the feedback and they know fans want a more goofier face, either the crying face or just like a goofier expression all the way around. And they may circle back, and who knows, we may get an update for this existing pre-order as it is. We know Sagat got a update for his pre-order. Before that, it was Kyo from KOF 2002 Unlimited Match. When he first went up for pre-order, about a month later, they came out and said, "Hey, we updated the head sculpts." And then before that, to my knowledge, it started with Baki. When Baki was first ever pre-order went live, I have the breakdown here on the channel if you want to watch it. It was about 3 years old at this point. He had a darker skin complexion, and by the time the figure came out, they had released an update saying, "Hey, we're making him a lighter skin complexion to match the anime and manga." So there is a possibility we could see that with Dan the Man. Keaton says, if anything, it's folder for custom mods. Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. Scarscream says, Capcom. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up because a question that's been on my mind is why Alpha 3? Why did they go with Street Fighter Alpha 3? And we just seen this free update that went live. It was like 2 or 3 days ago. Like you said, that included all of the characters. So now, if you've got the SNK collection, that Alpha Max has all characters from the many years that it added on characters. Right, that is the complete roster that is on the SNK collection available, like on PS5 and PS4 things. Or no, PS4. I'm sorry. So my question was, why did Jada and why did Storm Arena choose Alpha 3? And I think the reasoning behind that is because of this right here. Because Capcom was pushing, these collections, and they were also pushing to, now that we see it, complete the whole Alpha roster on one game. I think that is why Capcom went to Storm and went to Jada to let them know, like, these are the available licenses, but we want you to do Alpha 3 because they're pushing for Alpha 3. At least that's what it seems like. That's my theory. I could be wrong, but it would make sense as to why we've got two companies right now at the same time producing Alpha 3 characters. First time in history, I believe that is happening. And it kind of makes sense when you look at the game and the licensings and the updates and how it all is coming together. So good stuff there. Silent Man says it looks a bit off. Wait, it looks like I missed a bit. Oh, no. Yeah. So the stream's only been going for about 20 minutes. Thanks for joining. We do have our winner who was, I think, what was it? Like, let me show y'all just in case he's in here. 76. We got you. You're the winner here. You won. Now, again, for those of you who weren't here earlier when we had our winner, if this individual does not reach out, in a week's time, so a week from today, we will be doing another giveaway, and we'll do like a last man standing. So all the 100 and however many folks there were, we're gonna do a last man standing. Last man on the wheel or woman on the wheel gets the figure. So we'll have to wait and see. 76. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram, and I might try to reach out to you and see if I can find you or whatever. And I'll make a post congratulating. But yeah, you got a week, man. Got a week. All right, so going back here to Alpha. Okay, let's see. Ray says, which I'm so tight about that those San Diego Comic-Con Jada Street Fighter are sold out. Yeah, I was hoping to get them, but they weren't as easily available as the past exclusives. So hopefully they're going to do like another batch of pre-orders, but then again, they might not. I know when Evil Ryu first went up for pre-order, like that exclusive of from Jada, 2 years ago in 2023, I remember that figure sold out in minutes. But then it also went up for pre-order, I think like a day or two later, or it might have been a week later. We're now past a week since the San Diego Comic-Con, and still nothing from Jada. So we'll have to wait and see. If anything, possibly for the New York Comic-Con, they're going to have the same exclusives, and they'll probably have extra afterwards. So I would say, I guess maybe if they're going to do another pre-order batch, it would have to be either after New York Comic-Con or before New York Comic-Con, I would say. So hopefully they do something like that. Sun says if enough people combine, or if enough people complain, we might get an update like Sagat. I agree. Yeah, I think that might be the direction Storm may go in. We'll have to wait and see. I would give it probably until the end of October. If we don't see anything by the end of October, then it's probably sealed and stone there. Keaton says it's clear Jada went for Alpha 3, went after Alpha 3 for release longevity. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And we know now that they may not release the whole roster. At least that's not the plan. Uh, so that whole narrative of, Jada does that. Well, they still haven't done it. To be clear, they still have not done that. The world could end tomorrow. You know what I mean? And the history books or whatever will show they didn't do it. But I'm just kidding. So that's their intention for Ultra Street Fighter 2 is to release a whole roster. Will happen by the end of summer of next year, I believe, which is great news. They look fabulous. What we have left to get. Uh, Still can use some improvement, but the Ultra Street Fighter 2 line, the roster will be completed. Jada will go down in history for doing that, but that would probably be it. From the sound of the interview that they had with Toy Migos, that may be it for Alpha. At least we're going to get a wave 1. We may or may not get a wave 2. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's kind of hard to see what's going to happen now. I would say if they're going to do a wave 2, they should do figures that either Storm Arena dropped the ball on or they haven't released yet. Yeah, I saw an interview. Yeah, won't be making any more. He made sure. Oh, okay. I saw an interview that June said he won't be making any more. He made sure he said that what exclusives are about. Seemed to be hard on that. Oh wow, damn. So June's going hard on the fans now. That's crazy because, um, and then of course you also have to keep into account BBTS. They recently restocked Evil Ryu and the June exclusive. So there's a chance that we could get that exclusive. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay like $100 or maybe even more so to get one of those exclusives. I wanted to get them. I really wasn't pressed on getting them. It wasn't something I needed to have, or like, yeah, it wasn't something I needed to have. But if I had to choose between the two, I would have got the Dalsim. That was a pretty nice release, and I'm pretty sure he sold out the quickest with Dalsim, which makes sense because that was a decent looking figure. Let's see here. Star Screamer says there are going to be another 2 Jada P2 colors this year, according to June. Any guesses who? I think of Blanca, DJ, or Sagat. Oh, I didn't know that. So that's pretty cool. Cool. So for New York Comic Con, huh? That's nice. If I had to say like 2 exclusives right off top, I would have to see. I made a video on this. That's crazy, but there are certain figures within certain waves that haven't received exclusives yet. I think Cammy was one, and that's why we got that silver and pink reveal. So maybe she's off the table. Um, I like the choices you went with DJ, Blanca. I feel like Blanca and Sagat might be very popular. Maybe those 2 should be the ones because I don't think we've gotten any exclusive deluxe yet or like deluxe exclusives yet, right? I don't think so. So that would be pretty cool for the New York Comic Con if they had 2 deluxe exclusives. And then of course you have to consider that by the New York Oh wait, no. Yeah, we should be okay. Damn, it would be cool if it was like Shin Akuma and maybe Blanca or Sagat. I think that would be pretty cool. Ray says, I hope they do make another run. I want the Dalsim and M. Bison. I got all the other exclusives. Yeah, it would be fair for them to do that. It would be fair for them to release it, but if that's what June said, then probably not going to happen, which is crazy because their whole thing has been availability. And I get where he's coming from with the exclusives. Like an exclusive is an exclusive for a reason. So I get that. But damn, bro, when you sell out within like the first hour, the demand is there. And when you have a history of like doing like a re-release or another run, it's kind of crazy, right? Let's see. So we have Keaton saying the next Jada P2 really should have at least had a live pre-order after San Diego Comic-Con, or Entertainment Earth should have put a post on the side about it. Yeah, did Entertainment Earth, did they also have those exclusives up for pre-order? I'm not sure. Rayman says, I hope BBTS has one. I think they will. Just give it some time. Like I said, we saw it with Chun-Li. We saw it again with Evil Ryu. Not sure about Ken right off top, but it is there. And then, as always, you've got eBay and things like that. I'm not even sure what the going price is on eBay. We'll have to check and see real quick. what the going price is on those figures. Oh shit, hold on. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and check on this real quick. Okay. So if you look on eBay, I mean, $85. I mean, well, and these cost what, 45 $50, I think. Might have been 45. I don't know. It looks like you're paying over double, but um I wouldn't go over 100, that's for sure. Definitely wouldn't do over 100. These prices are a bit crazy though. If you were gonna jump, and if you didn't want to wait and you were going to jump, I would say now would be the best time to jump. It looks either way you look at it, you're going to be spending probably over $100 regardless. So I don't know. It has to be worth it for you all. Again, I would think to myself that Dalsim would be the only one worth spending that much money on because of like the fireball effect. Like you can pair that with a lot of different, lines out there. First thing that comes to my mind is like the SH Figure Art Sasuke. That's where you could go. All right, Silent Man says irrelevant to topic, but got Kim yesterday in hand. Okay. Also, I don't get why both or one company is doing Alpha 3 and not Max versions. The KOF line did 98 and 2002 versions rather than the regular 98 and '02. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know because it's strange. It's strange. It's a touchy subject because for Alpha 3, for an example, and I think you might have commented this, Silent Man, that if this was Alpha 1, it would have gotten a clear pass, right? For this Dan, because he seemed to be a little bit more serious in Alpha 1, right? So it could be that these companies are going to give us figures from across the plane. And when I mean that, or what I mean by saying that is that from alpha, upper, max, all that stuff, we may get figures for. And that would be pretty cool. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down because alpha is a pretty big roster. There's over, I think, 30 characters. And then when you include max and things like that, I think it's like 45 characters. So to sit here and say that both companies are going to do the roster, like the whole complete roster, it's a pipe dream because I don't think that's going to happen. And if it were to happen, it would take a very long time for that to happen. And I'm not sure if either company has the patience or, the dedication to do that. Storm Arena, I will say, this line was revealed, I think at this point now, 9 months ago. And I'll even be like, I'll give him a handicap and say 10 months ago. So 10 months ago, and we've already have like we've already got 5 Alpha 3 reveals in 10 months. No, I'm sorry, 6. 6 Alpha 3 reveals in 10 months. I mean, really, and by 2028, they could do the whole roster if you think about it. By the end of 2028, they could potentially do the whole roster. Maybe not the whole 40, but the whole base roster for Alpha 3 is a possibility. And it could be a good start to Alpha or to Storm Arena. Even more so if they go that route for KOF. But I think we could all argue that not every character across Darkstalkers, across Alpha and KOF 98 should have a figure. Like, yeah, it'd be great, but there are some characters that no one would probably get if there was a figure for. So it's like, is it even worth it at that point? For Street Fighter, I really can't think of anything right off top. But for like KOF, we're talking about Kim. Kim also has like the 2 other people on his team is like a real big guy and a real small old man, I think, with glasses. And I just don't see the appeal. And I don't think anyone would want to pick those figures up. So the whole thing with doing the roster and things like that, I think it's gone, bro. Like we got it once with Jada and it will never probably happen again. So at this point, we should be focusing and hoping for characters that are going to be like the most popular. And I think that's probably a good direction to look at it this way. So Scar Screamer says this Aussie site has them. Okay, so the Aussie site has them as well. So yeah, they're starting to get into circulation. They're starting to become available, and now everyone can see what the hype's all about. Are we talking exclusives to con stores or both? Both, or not really cons, but well, I guess both you could say because some stores they offer their own exclusives, and then they also offer the con exclusives as well. Okay, so Star Screamer saying Blanca Sagat and DJ has not received any P2 colors yet. Yeah, so I would say I think of those three, the two most popular would be the Blanca and Sagat. I'm not entirely sure how popular DJ is, but when I think Street Fighter, I think of Sagat and Blanca before I think of DJ. So I think that might be your strongest possible exclusives for this New York Comic Con, which I think that's awesome that they're Jada is going and giving us another set of exclusives for this San Diego Comic Con, and maybe one exclusive and maybe two. But I think that's pretty awesome to have that because now you're creating a bigger incentive to go to both where you can potentially get one. Sun says Shinakuma would be cool. Keaton says Jada Toys UK is teasing an announcement tomorrow on Insta. Okay, so if it is DJ, okay, thank you, Keaton, for that. That's a nice, insightful news to have. If it is DJ, then yes, I would say for New York Comic Con, expect either Sagat or Blanca, hopefully both. Silent Man says, the day DJ gets a player two, I'm getting rid of that default skin one. Okay. The mismatched color around his torso ruined the figure, and despise him being fun to pose. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I don't have that figure, but still, even having that kind of defect or anything like that, no one wants to go through that, right? That P2 Ken was Entertainment Earth exclusive, but you could end up getting him in most places. Yeah, so that just adds to, you might be able to get it wherever you want. Yeah, pretty freaking yeah, so scalpers, tax, yeah, it's huge, man. Like I think when I got Evil Ryu, I didn't even get him off of the website, or I might have. I think I no first round I got him on eBay, and then I think the second time I got the figure. Oh no, I didn't even get it a second time, but yeah, I got it off eBay for I think it was like $85, which wasn't too bad, but still scalpers, man. Keen says, hold your nerve on eBay. They're on AliExpress for retail. Oh, okay, yeah. And then I think there's some other places you can go to. I mean, there's availability is there. You're just gonna have to fork up the money, unfortunately. Now, if AliExpress has them for retail, then that's the best place to go. Go to the Australian site I posted, guys. What is it in here on the chat? Or maybe I can't see them on there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no link. You can get the exclusive shipped anywhere to the US. It costs the same as buying from Jada, um, including shipping. Okay. Go here. They have the green bison too. Oh shoot. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. So it looks like we've got Starscreamer might have found something for you all if you want to get those exclusives close to retailer. They need a new poser. Oh, for which one? For Jada or for Storm? Absolutely. YouTube only allows the content channel to post chat or admin. Posting link, but it's not showing up. Yeah, unlimited match. The only link would be from M.A.R.S. If you can put the website, we can check it out here. At this rate, I can see it. Ultimate, I meant. Yep. Chang and Choi. Okay, yeah, Chang and Choi. Thanks for joining up. That must be from Kim, Chang and Choi. Gotcha. Storm says, "Give me Storm Arena Akuma. Sounds nice." We got Khaled in the building. We hope Jada Toys coming soon. Wave 5 characters is E Honda, Balrog, Zangief, T-Hawk, and Akuma. We are done. Finish it. Ultra Street Fighter 2 next year, 2026. bring back Karen and Sakura from Street Fighter Alpha 3 series. Yeah. So hope to finish next year. Definitely want the Akuma. However, I will say the Akuma, let's go ahead and take a look over here. Yeah, the Akuma for me, it's too light. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if it's the character design of Ultra Street Fighter 2. I don't think so, right? He's supposed to be a darker color, I thought. He's a darker skin complexion. Nonetheless, still probably gonna pick this up, do an unboxing, doing a review, nature review on it. Very excited for that. Let's see. And then we've got the incredible stuff here, or invincible. There's a lot of photos here. Damn, 79 photos. Yeah, so while we're on this is the exclusive that we're getting for Cammy. Looks pretty good. Not sure if I'm going to be picking this one up though, if I'm being honest with you. Still looks good. Um, Silent Man says, yeah, Chang and Choi, don't blame you, hate them. Yeah, so I don't think those type of characters are going to be released. I don't think, pretty much my point is saying that I don't think Storm Arena intention is going to be to complete these whole rosters. Jada kind of might have been a one roster complete and done. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to do anything extra. I don't think they're going to release a whole roster for another Street Fighter game. I think it's just going to be this one. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, they do release a full roster for any upcoming game, but we know it's not going to happen with Alpha, and that's probably because of Storm Arena. We just have to wait and see. But I wouldn't get your hopes up high. It says only huge fans would want them, like myself, but I'm in the minority. Yeah, I mean, as you say that, I'm kind of thinking that possibly they could actually go that route and release those characters because, I mean, when you look at Storm Collectibles, like at this point, Storm Collectibles is only going to be like niche anime media releases and, related kind of characters and things like that because as far as Street Fighter Alpha 6, like, yeah, they're going to release some more figures, but I doubt they're going to complete the roster because Storm Arena is going to end up taking over Storm Collectibles. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? We're 2 figures out. The reviews are in. The industry has spoken, and, like, these are revolutionary, right? With that being said, I think Storm Collectibles, they're going to have to fall back, and they should prioritize, more characters that not everyone's gonna want. You got the Cobra, Space Pirate. We've got Oppo, Hajime, or whatever should be coming out. We need to reveal someday. Everyone wants that. There's just like, and then we got like the muscular guys that they just did a pre-order on. So like those type of characters, those type of animes and media, I think is gonna be drawn back to Storm Collectibles. And the more popular lines like Baki, KOF, Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, that is where all the attention is going to be poured into. And when you look at the scaling, it just makes more sense for that to be the case because at the 1/12 scale, it's relevant, it's popular. You're not in some limbo somewhere. Everyone's gonna want to have the 1/12 scale figure of these popular IPs. But with Storm Collectibles, they're 7-inch. Probably best to keep that to more, Fist of the North Star. What was the one guy, Momotoru from like the Samurai Discipline, manga or whatever. Just keep it like that. All right, so we've got it. We've got something. Hold on, we've got something here. Let me see. We might have a website here. Oh shit, that always happens. All right, here we go. Pop culture. All right, so this is the website he was referring to, the Australian website. So if you can see it, where's the name at? Okay, yeah, Pop Culture. And let's see here. Let's see what they got for Jada Toys. Oh wow, I should have been a little bit more specific here. All right, 25. Let's see what we got. Oh wow, look at that. So here they are. He wasn't lying. He's here. Let's see. So yeah, if you want these exclusives, this would be the place to get it. And it looks to be like they're in stock. 45 free shipping on orders within. Oh, okay. Well, that's within. So let's see, shipping information and all that stuff. What's going on here? All right. So yeah, if you all want that exclusive, this is the website to go to. You can get both of them right now for $100. Imagine that. We're just talking and we just seen the prices for 100 for one figure. Well, you can pay 100 and get two figures. That's a win right there. So definitely check out this website. Let me see. Can I do it like this? Hold up. Um, is that visible? Can y'all click on that? There it is. If you want those, that's where to go. Um, Hell, these might sell out, right? By me refreshing them. There's DJ. There he is. Maximum. Okay. So yeah, so we might get like a P2 tomorrow, you were saying. Um, they've got the P1 here. They've even got Fei Long exclusive, 32, 32. They've got Valent Ken. Damn, they've got everything you need. It's right here. Chun Li. Shoot. All right, cool. So there you all go. Special thank you to Star Screamer there because you got it for us, man. You got it for them. All right, now where was I in the comments here? Okay, so Keaton says if P2 DJ P2 has green pants, maybe a green. Oh, okay, a Walgreen exclusive. Target has red. Oh shit, that would be cool. I would love for them to do something like that. That'd be pretty awesome if they got that intricate with it. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, the Cammy P2 is fire. The Jada Toys Akuma should be beefier. Not gonna lie, I agree. I'm gonna leave this up here so you guys can kind of see this comments there in the chat. Um, they should all go in 112 scale. Yeah, I think so too. And it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if they made that business decision tomorrow. Yeah, you're gonna have people out there with their Storm collectible figures like looking around like, what the fuck. But I think business wise, it would be the best approach because everyone there's more people in that market. Your audience, your customer audience, what have you, is much bigger in that scale. It would make more sense to invest all your money into that scale because it's going to be successful. And the more crazier you get, imagine if they were to release a 112 scale Cobra. The crazier you get, the more appeal you're going to get and the more eyes you're going to have on you. So 112 scale Fist of the North Star, 112 scale Cyber Blue, 112 scale what's that other one? Axe, Golden Axe, like things like that. I think that, they could pretty much come in and dominate most companies in the 112 scale. The crazier they get, the better it will be. And for them starting off with these four IPs, KOF, Darkstalkers, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and Baki, they're already starting off pretty strong. In 5 years, I want to see where Storm Arena is going to be, what IPs are going to have, what will they have already released. Are they still going to be doing Alpha? Are they still going to be doing KOF? I'm very excited for that. So, Star Screamer says, let's see. I want that Storm Collectibles M Bison. Oh, yeah. That M Bison looks sick. Yeah, for real, Silent Man. Forgot all about Cobra. Yep. Talk about pushing back pigs. Yeah. Seriously, like, they're definitely letting Storm Arena take over. And some people are going to be here for it. Some people won't be here for it. It says, what if KOF 98 Unlimited Match Series, some action figure Storm collectibles, boss, uh, Vice and Regal. I think Regal, I think that'd be a pretty cool Storm Arena figure to have out. I feel like they should have that maybe be the next or third reveal. I think what KOF from Storm Arena, they're going to reveal 3 figures at a time. It works better that way. You know, you don't have to draw it out. It's not going to build up too much anticipation. Reveal all 3 of the same team at one time, and that's the best way to go. I think the next one we're going to see is going to be probably Joe, Mai, and Terry. I think they're all from Fatal Fury. Could be wrong. Could be a different, lineup. And then maybe we'll get a boss afterwards. Yeah, seriously, they did really good. Good work. Yeah, I'm thinking blue or purple DJ. I would like purple. That'd be pretty cool. Yo, we've got Stone in the building. Why is a delay on the Baki? It was the first one announced. Any word from them? Welcome in. And I'm not sure what's happening with Baki. I'm really hoping that we get a full reveal from Mr. Lee or who have you this month, and hopefully get the figure in hand by the end of this month or maybe the second week of September. I have a feeling it's like just around the corner, and it'll probably be here any week. So looking forward to that. Keaton says Starscream coming in clutch, my man. Yeah, definitely out there navigating those websites, and you got us a pretty good deal right here. Pretty good hookup. Sun says, give me Storm Arena. Dimitri sculpt would look beautiful. Yeah, Dimitri, that would be a pretty cool one. I've thought about getting the Storm Collectibles one and doing like a review on, but I keep, letting it pass me by. So we'll have to wait and see if they do a Storm Arena. I think I would rather have the Storm Arena one. All right, same with Dompo. Yeah, Storm needs to just hurry up and get the ball rolling. I feel Sagat will arrive mid 2026. I don't think so. I think Sagat will come out this year. A lot of people were, skeptical of Storm Arena releasing like the Ken and Ryu. As far as like the Hong Kong Asia release, I think everything's been on track. The only thing that I would say that has not been on track per se would be Storm Collectibles. Again, I think they're like starting to kind of push collectibles to the side and focus more on Storm Arena. But as far as the release windows in Hong Kong for Storm Arena, it's been pretty much dead set, like as it should be. Everything's been coming out at the listed date. We're still in Q3. Baki was slated for Q3. Q3 ends, I believe, next month. So the end of next month is when Q3 is going to end. Like I said, I'm very confident up in the next coming weeks, if not the second week of September, we'll see something Baki related. So I think that's going to happen. And then as for Sagat, I can see Sagat probably coming out before Yujiro. I think, the Street Fighter line is very successful. Yujiro is a very successful individual as himself, right? As a character. Like I did a review on that figure. It's got almost 250,000 views. So it could go either which way, but I wouldn't be surprised if after Baki we get Sagat and then Yujiro probably December, maybe January. Not sure. Rez says M.A.R.S. I hope they do G-Force battle of the planets figures in Storm Arena size, since Storm already has that IP license. I feel like is the G-Force battle of the planet, is that like kind of like a beat 'em up games from like the 80s, 70s, something like that? Because I know Storm has a lot of those like beat 'em up game IPs, and that whole aesthetic, I think Storm kills it whenever they release those kind of figures. Stone, what's good? What's good? Keaton says, I think it was Toy Biz who did some cool Darkstalker figures in the late 90s. All right, Silent Man says, I think they are updating Arena Baki, getting rid of the ab crunch. Oh, okay, Ryu and Ken, etc. Yeah, that could be a possibility too. It would be crazy if the next figure release was Sagat. Because then if that is the case, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. I believe that 100%. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This is a very exciting time to be a Storm Arena collector. Right now, Ken is available for everyone in the States. People in the UK have Ken, and I believe Ryu at this moment. We're still waiting for Ryu here in the States, but hey, it's starting to move on in. And like I said, a lot of people are very excited in the community. A lot of content creators, apart from myself, okay, it's not just me out here glazing Storm. All right, there's a lot of other content creators out there glazing Storm too, because it's just a great product. It always has been for the most part, and with Storm Arena, might always will be. Stone. Okay. Sun says, I have these Storm collectibles, Dimitri. If I knew Storm Arena was coming. Yeah, really. I get it. Because like I said, I was on the fence for quite some time. Stone says, I'm just excited to have an actual arena display from them. There you go. Keaton, I've got Sagat shipping end of August or very early September. Oh wow. So maybe he might be the next figure to come out. Wouldn't that be crazy if like Storm was just like, you know what? Let's just release all the alpha figures that we have planned for this year. Let's release them first, and then we'll release Baki next. That would be pretty cool if they did that. Let me know. Would y'all prefer that? Would you prefer Storm or any company, or let's just say Storm for this case? Would you prefer them to release all of Alpha first and then Baki? So we may get Baki in like November and December, and like the same for Yutro, or would you want Baki? Do you think Baki should be next? Me personally, I feel like Baki should be next because we've got Ken and Ryu, great additions, obviously, but I think having that additional or like a new flavor come in with Baki, I think that'd be pretty cool. Sun says, "Oh, okay, okay, yeah, you would have bought it. Yep, I got you. Let's see. It's an anime from the 70s. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so like that's what I really do enjoy from Storm, Storm Collectibles is that they take that extra route. It's a bit risky, because not a lot of people are going to be into that kind of IP or kind of genre, I guess you could say. But they take that route with the Storm Collectibles. I think it's a safer route. And it does gain a lot of appreciation and it opens the door because just think of all of the older gentlemen and women out there who may be in their 40s or 50s who grew up in the 70s and watched this kind of stuff when they were kids. And now it's like, well, they've got a figure that you could possibly get. But then it's like, well, hold up. They've got like a whole nother Storm Arena line that have all these other figures. So it's kind of like a cool way to knock the door down for Storm. Street Fighter fans, yep, we are eating good right now. I'm still waiting for some love for Tekken. I'm hoping Tekken is on the next wave of IPs from Storm. For Tekken, I mean, you guys are talking about completing a Street Fighter roster, bro. Like Storm Collectibles Tekken, there's only like 4 or 5 figures, and that's it. It's dry. It's super dry. So please, they gotta change that. It says, as far as I know, they don't have a video game. They should, though, in my opinion. Yeah, and I know if any of you all are excited for the Cobra Space Pirate figure coming out from Storm Collectibles, there's actually a video game coming out on the PlayStation. I think like August 22nd. It's 2 players too. You can play as Cobra and his little like metal female assistant or whatever, cyborg assistant. That's gonna be pretty cool. It's 2 players. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. So who knows? I might even do like a live stream on the channel. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got. Sun says that the Storm Arena Sagat is going to be better than the Jada Sagat. It's not even close either. Yeah, and I would say you could argue maybe because of the app cut was there, maybe that would, I mean, definitely give it better articulation, right? I mean, nonetheless, but it kind of gives it more appeal aesthetically, and thus making it stand over the Jada Toys Sagat. Now, I've got the Jada Toys Sagat like here on my desk. Like I'm always here. It's always out. I'm always picking it up, posing it, like even right now, So, although it seems like I don't have love for Jada, I do appreciate them. I got respect for them, especially after this, San Diego Comic-Con that just took place and all the reveals and coverage they had and things like that. So, and even more so now that we know we're going to be getting more exclusives, different exclusives for the New York Comic-Con. Yeah, a lot of respect for Jada on this side. There was a fighting game on Nintendo. Yep, Tetsunogu or Tetsunoko versus Capcom. We did a review on Kargus which was I'm not sure if he was in that game, but I know he's a part of that company that went up against Capcom. And then I do have Ken the Eagle. Ken the Eagle is also featured in that review. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Kala says, "What if Felicia and Heisenko Dogstalkers series Storm collectibles need some prototype blue cat or purple ghost colors action figure, most new exclusive hype?" Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty cool if we got some more Darkstalkers from Storm Collectibles, but let's be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I think at this point, a lot more energy and effort and money is going to be poured into Storm Arena. As like I've been saying, a lot of people are very pleased with those products, and for them to have such a great opening run, it only makes sense for them to pour their assets or pull their assets from Storm Collectibles and to pour it into Storm Arena. That's like the direction to go. And for all we know, that could have been in development for many years and just came to fruition, this past year. So hopefully we do get some I do want a Felicia Dogstalkers Storm Arena figure. I think that'd be great. It would be nice to have it in Storm Collectibles just because it would add some greater detail. But for Storm Arena, definitely want Felicia for sure. Keaton says Battle of the Planet characters were in the Wii fighting game. Oh, cool. All right, so there you go. There you go, Ray. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, if that's the case, then we could very well be seeing those characters. I'm very excited when it comes to Storm Arena and their like off the wall reveals. Let's just go over here real quick and see Storm. There we go. Right. So yeah, like these two characters here, like it's so obscured, right? It's like a niche that not everyone's gonna enjoy this. But here we have Storm, like they're willing to go out and make these figures, and they're flexing nonetheless. And where's this one promotional shot where you can actually, because this is like some crazy ass like video game where they're like flying and they shoot beams out of their heads. I mean, look at these expressions. Yeah, here it is right here. So if Storm Collectibles is willing to make this type of stuff, that most people probably don't even know about, I'm pretty confident they'll make like some Battle of the Planet characters and things like that too. Because I'm not even sure if this is the same IP. It's maybe the same IP as them. I'm not even sure. I'm an old head, so there are a lot of things I like from past to present. Well, there you go. That's good. So hopefully, it looks like Storm Collectibles is right up your alley. I do want that Cargus figure, good design. It is a good design, and the articulation is very surprising. Oh, okay, yeah, I was shocked. I saw that on the PlayStation Store. I was shocked. Yeah, that's gonna be a nice game to pick up. It's coming out this month too, so even better. Yeah, Sculpts is just way better. Damn, they have that Cobra game coming out for the Switch. I'm not sure. I just really hope the game has uh the intro to the song, like this intro song. I really hope they have that because that would be sick. So yeah, if you guys are interested, and the craziest thing is that I would never have known about Cobra if it wasn't for Storm Collectibles, and that's like the power of collecting, right? Like that's like the benefit of collecting figures is because you're introduced to like different IPs you never would have known about. Here we are, Space Adventure Cobra, and this looks pretty awesome. Oh, there's a demo. Oh shoot, y'all, I might have to get off. There's a demo for Cobra. Oh wow. Is there any? Yeah, sweet. I didn't know. So hey, now you know. If you've got your PlayStation, you got the PS5, go check out Cobra. The demo is out. I did not know. That's crazy. So we'll leave that up here for a second. We got Callus says, I love Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. Huge Capcom fan. Everyone, world, my kids, and childhood and memories, late 90s and 2000, most excellent work. Yeah, Capcom, we call them Cap God now because they're on fire. They've had their rocky roads, over the past few years and things like that, or since they're from the start to now, there's been some rocky roads, but they got it all figured out and they're great. You've got Resident Evil. There's so many different IPs from Capcom to where like I just love it. And if you're excited for the Resident Evil movie that's coming out next year from Zach Kreger, he's also doing Weapons that's coming out this Friday. That movie looks insane. At first, I was kind of skeptical, like, okay, so what are the kids like the bad guys? Are they like the ghosts or demons right now, or zombies? Are the kids? No, it's the parents. If you haven't seen the latest trailer, go check it out. You even have the Resident Evil Instagram page shouting out the movie. So that just gives me like high hopes that the Resident Evil movie next year from the same producer or director of Weapons is going to kill it. So I'm very excited for that. And hopefully some of you all are too. And I'm also excited for that Cobra demo. I'm definitely going to check that out here in a minute. Silent Man says, if there was one Darkstalker I look forward to seeing, it's Lord Raptor. Look him up if you do. Lord Raptor. That's an interesting. It was like a reptilian type creature. Oh, okay. Yeah, he looks pretty badass. The Night Warrior. Then that's like the cool thing about Darkstalkers is that they have like so many different like mytho creatures and things like that. I'm really liking that. So let's see. I do want to touch on this real briefly as well. Mars, did you get the KOF the K knockoff $20 Zangief figure from Ali? It's fantastic, honestly. I didn't get it, and I should have probably got it, but yeah, I try to go for like officially licensed stuff. But who knows? Maybe that's something I could do in the future because the knockoff figures they're going to end up taking over the market because it'll be cheap and affordable, whereas the legit stuff is going to be like astronomical in price. Damn, which store for that figure? Oh shoot, which figure are we talking about? Trying to help. Oh, okay. AliExpress. Gotcha. All right, let's see. Just want to be Super Metroid like with its with its own tape. Okay, yeah, that's still pretty cool. Yeah, the anime Cobra is a bit boring. I watched it. Game hopefully is better. I tried getting into the anime. It's all Japanese sub or is English sub. Couldn't really get into it that much, but I did acknowledge the appeal and I did have appreciation for like what it's coming from, right? And like how influential it also has been on many other projects that come out since then. Pretty cool concept, if I'm being honest. And I will say the Storm Collectibles release, he looks a bit serious too. Like Storm Arena and Storm Collectible, they've got this serious mentality going on. I don't know what's going on here. If you let's see, and it's probably way down there, but yeah, like the promotional images for the Cobra figure, very, very serious. So again, and here's his carcass here. Again, it seems that Storm was just trying to be more serious all the way around. And I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, like these expressions here. This isn't the Cobra I watched on YouTube. I guess maybe this one, there's a few, but I feel like in overall, it could have been a little bit goofier. If that makes sense. Says, damn, my 7 battery's almost dead. So just in case, thanks for the fun stream. I'll see you later. Okay, Ray, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Keaton, my PSP anime video has both Chorus and both Darkstalker releases. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Shit. That's pretty cool. I'll catch the replay. Thanks again. I hope we see Storm Arena's Akuma soon. That's the figure I need. Well, thanks for joining up. I think we will see that pretty soon. It only makes sense that we'll be seeing that pretty soon. We should be seeing it soon. I would love to see it at the New York Comic Con, but who knows? I feel like the next, con that we go to with Storm Arena, it's gonna be great. We had a good reveal at the Anime Expo at the beginning of July. It's been pretty dark since then. We've had a lot of conventions pass. San Diego Comic Con. We had the Japanese Wonder Fest. There was like anime game and cards over in Hong Kong. So they're kind of in the dark right now. I'm not sure what's happening, but I think the next pop out, the next reveal is going to be worth the wait. But yeah, so really briefly, just want to touch on these Mortal Kombat, Todd McFarlane figures. Don't think I'll be picking them up. They're 7 inches tall, probably coming in at a decent price. And yeah, just curious to see what you all think. But for me, it's going to be a no-go. We've got Keaton said, with Dan Mars, do you think it would be judged as individual designs or as a basic? I don't know. I feel like for Dan, probably individual. If I got to be honest, because if that Dan looks more to the Alpha 1, then when it comes to Alpha 3, because that's like one of my talking points for Storm is that, hey, like they're actually getting it from the source material, there's no like modifications, blah blah blah. Like with Jada, right? Like with Jada, there's like some different inspirations going on with the releases, but now we're seeing like with Dan that it may also be the case for Storm too. But then again, we also need to keep in mind that Capcom, I believe, they get the final approval on these licenses. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Sandman says, I'll probably get Katana, huge maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get one figure, probably it should be like a female figure because I feel like for these other ones, it looks good, but damn, why the pins have to be there? I feel like if the pins weren't there, that's crazy. Keen says, cool, you can split the fireball and light it. Oh, really? That'd be pretty cool. Because I know with the Ryu Sakazaki big blue aura effect, you could actually kind of twist it and pull it apart. So maybe we could do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Solomon says Liu Kang is the worst. Yeah, Liu Kang looks like Jackie Chan, bro. I don't know what inspiration they got for that, but my boy looks just like Jackie Chan. Pretty wild. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining. I think we're gonna end it off here. Had a great stream. We got our winner. I'll make sure to make a post about that stuff. Again, if that individual does not reach out in a week's time, we still got like another pre-order or another giveaway we'll do next week or sometime after that. Not sure when. Maybe for the Baki review. Who knows? But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Had a great time with you all. And we'll see you all in the next Mars Live. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a great night. Peace.